Welcome. Maryland's 6th Congressional District, as you've heard a time or two on this show, is wide open with David Trone's decision to run for Senate. We've been bringing all the candidates on, both Democrat and Republican, to discuss the race, and that includes my guest tonight, who's worked on the state and federal levels and founded the Drake Institute of Women's Policy. She is Destiny Drake West, up late with me tonight here on the Final Five. Welcome. Good to see you tonight.
Thank you so much, Jim, for having me.
Our pleasure. So I think the most important thing with this race is, who are you?
Oh, my goodness. I'm a mom, first of all, a wife, and a resident of the district, which not a lot of people can say who's in this race, as you know. Yeah. Really excited to be a candidate.
What motivated you? Because as you look at right now, you're not serving in elected office. No. So why are you jumping into this arena?
Oh, my goodness. So I am running because families in the 6th District are in big trouble. 33% of our families are struggling to meet their basic needs, which means that they're struggling to put food on the table and to keep a roof over their heads, just basic things like that. And that's 33% of the families. And so when you break that number out by race, those numbers shoot up even higher for African-American families like mine, Hispanic families, and our families who are living in rural areas. So I knew that I needed to jump into this race because there are very few candidates out there who have my life experience and who have my federal government expertise who could do this.
What do you do with the federal government?
I worked first at HRSA, which is part of HHS, the Department of Health and Human Services, and there I focused on the health workforce, like developing it, expanding it, and diversifying it before being promoted to a position at HUD. And so I have a breadth of experience in federal government and policy.
Well, it's important, too, to know how things work, because there's a lot of people who want to come in. And would you call yourself, having not served right now, an outsider, or is there a better way to finesse that?
No, I actually like that, because I feel that what's happening in today's political culture is you have a lot of people who are career politicians who are very out of touch with what's happening on the ground in everyday people's lives. And so for me, you know, I look at things, I'm a criminologist by study, and also an analyst by practice. And so I look at what's happening at the macro level. You take my community in Germantown, which is a part of Montgomery County. Walk into a local grocery store, there's increased security presence, Jim, and our formula is locked away behind glass cases to keep it secure. Why is that? That's because we have more theft of groceries, of all things right now. And that signifies that our families are really in crisis. And so we need people who are here, like who are on the ground level, who are experiencing these issues, to be in Washington making those decisions.
The interesting thing about the 6th District, and we've mentioned this before, is it's a district that it has gone Democratic the last several cycles, but it is not a blue district. Because you go up 270, you know, you live in Germantown, you go up towards Frederick, and you go out towards Hagerstown, and these are different communities that are experiencing life in many different ways, but there are common threads that tie us all together, and a lot of that comes down to how you put the food on the table. But there's a lot of people, you know, especially as you go up into the northern reaches of the district, that believe that whatever happens in the Capitol there is never done in their best interest. They believe everybody in the Capitol is in it for themselves, and that's a tough thing to get through during the course of a political campaign.
Well, you know what, and I tend to agree with them. I do believe that our district has been kind of up for bid, to the highest bidder, to the highest bidder, if you will, for too long, and that has cost us significantly. Again, I like to go back to the issues that we have at hand. You know, people look at the 6th District and there's this common misperception that we have it all together, when in reality, we have so many families really struggling. Again, the wait times in Frederick at hospitals, at ERs, is very long, sometimes more than 20 hours long. You go up to Washington County, I have Republican and Democratic farmers who have talked to me. Some people have had their farms in operation for 7 generations, and they are now up against the wall trying to figure out how they're going to keep their doors open because of inflation and very little federal government support. And we're not going to get on Allegheny and Garrett counties where families are so, you know, frustrated with the lack of economic mobility that they've considered leaving the state of Maryland altogether to go to West Virginia, of all places. And so for me, we really need to amplify their needs, and I understand why so many of them don't feel represented adequately.
I think when you mention West Virginia, it is a matter sometimes of perceiving the people who are in charge that they might be more receptive to those sorts of needs. I want to ask you one easy question before we let you go. When you look at everything right now, if there's one issue that drives why Destiny West is running for Congress, what is it?
Oh my goodness, it is to bring us back together. again, you talked about the toxicity that's happening in Washington right now. So many people have become demoralized by the process, and our democracy really is in jeopardy, and that is affecting what we're seeing in our communities. And I feel that if we come together and really unify around the issues that we're all facing as working families, then we'll see results. But that's going to take the right candidate. And the last I checked, Jim, I'm the only candidate that brings it all to the table. I have that Capitol Hill experience. I have that federal government experience. I actually live in my district. My kids go to school in the district. I'm going to give birth to my baby in 2 months.
Look at that.
In the district.
Wait. Right around primary time,
yes,
too. Oh,
just
my
before
goodness.
primary.
What's your website?
DestinyDrakeWest.com or DestinyForCongress.com.
So nice to meet you. Thanks for coming in tonight.
Thank you so much.
And the Final Five is back after this.
Started